CCC family. Today we are going to learn how to make these cute little baby booties. The ones I'm making are for 0 to 3 months. And I'll put down in the description below how to make them for bigger sizes, like for a preemie or for 3 to 6 months and so forth. But yeah, the ones I'm making in this video, I think the only thing you're going to change is your hook size though, but I will leave that in the description below. But for today, we're just making, like I said, the 0 to 3 months. And look at them, they're so cute. So the materials you're going to need to make them exactly like mine are a 4mm hook. And by the way, this one is called, I can't even say that, Chiagoo. Anyways, a local yarn shop that has actually closed now, sadly. I wish they weren't closed. Wonderful lady who ran that, but she actually ordered this for me, and it was from a catalog, so I don't know exactly where you can find them at. Maybe you can find them on Amazon, but it's really cool. It's really good on the hand. So this is my 4mm hook. You are going to need a pair of scissors, and you're going to need a yarn needle or a darning needle. Now, this yarn that I'm using is called Oatmeal, and it is by Yarn Bee from Hobby Lobby. And then for the accent, the green little accent that you see around this just is this green mint. This was actually part of a cake. And it's a Mandela Lion brand cake, and it's got the blues, the whites, and the greens in it. It was in my last video if you want to know the name of it. I can't remember. But that's what we're going to be using for our accent around there, okay? So this is beginner friendly. However, you will need to know some basic stitches. So when I say beginner friendly, I'm basically saying that if you know how to do some basic stitches, then you could do this. However, if you're a brand new beginner, and you don't know how to do, you know, your basic single crochet, half double crochet, I have a absolute beginners video that you can go to if you need to do that. But if you know those basic stitches, then you're going to be able to get this just fine. It does take a little bit of practice. I think the first time I did them a long time ago, it took me a couple times to try it because we are going to be working around in a circle. Okay, and you might also need a stitch marker. So yeah, okay, aren't they so cute? Oh, and the buttons, they're optional. You can get any buttons you want. You don't have to put any on. They are kind of like little loafers. So, okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to pull this oatmeal color out because we'll start with the actual, obviously the portion of the thing. So let's do a slip knot, and we're going to chain 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and then you're going to do 2 half double crochets in the 3rd chain from the hook. So counting back, counting this one right here, never counting the one on our hook. 1, 2, and 3. So into that 3rd one, we're going to put 2 half double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, then we're going to do 1 half double crochet and the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5 half double crochets in the next 5 stitches, okay? And so then we're going to do 6 double crochets in this last stitch. So you should have 1 stitch left, and we're going to put 6 double crochets into there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And then when you did that, you're working in this last chain, so it would have made this bigger. So you can just pull that tight. Okay, and so essentially when you did those 6 double crochets, it made you come into a turn, kind of like an unfinished candy cane. Which, by the way, guys, if you kept on going for a little bit, you could make a candy cane. It's that easy. But anyway, so we did our 6 double crochets, and now we're going to be working across here on the other side. And this is where it can get a little bit tricky, because it's kind of hard to see each one of these stitches because we're looking at them differently than we normally would, because we've already worked in 1/2 of that stitch. Okay, so we're basically working in the same stitch. Okay, so you want to make sure that when you're coming across here that you get every single stitch that you can find. Okay, so on this other side, we need 5 half double crochets. And if you're not new to crocheting, or you've made booties before, you've done things similar, then you know what I'm talking about. But we need to make sure that we don't miss any of these stitches around here, okay? Because it'll mess up our count. So we're going to go right into here and do a half double crochet. And like I said, we need 5 across. So there's 1, and see, there's another one, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, if for some reason you had a hard time finding all of those, and you find that you're already working into this space down here, or something happens like that, just undo and make sure that you get 5 half double crochets across. I don't care if you have to put 2 at this end or somewhere extra over here, just get 5 across. But do try to get in your stitches, because it'll make it look better. But if for any reason that's stopping you or messing you up, just make sure you get 5 across, okay? And that's a little trick with crochet. Oftentimes we get so caught up when especially when we're beginners, and we're like, oh, you know, or messed up or whatever. And it's not that hard. A lot of times you just need to make sure that you get that count of stitches, okay? So we've worked those 5 half double crochets, and now we're in this little space here, which is where we first started, okay? So this is where we first did our chain of 9, and then we skipped those 3 stitches. That's this right here. So we're now working into that little place. And in that little place, I want you to put 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so there's 3 half double crochets. Now I want you to slip stitch into the top of that chain of 2 that we turned in. And now that sounds crazy, like we didn't do a chain of 2. No, I'm talking about when we did that turn, when we did the 9, when we did our chain of 9, and then we went into that 3rd stitch, we caused this stitch to happen right here, okay? So I want you to go into the 2nd stitch up, the top of the chain of 2, technically, okay? And do a slip stitch. Now, another thing that you can do is you can count back 22, and you'll know you got in the right place. So let's just do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. So I know I need to be working right in here, okay? And see, if you turn this on the side, this is the back of the stitches, this is the front. So the V's that you see here in the front are what you should be working through. So go right through there and do a slip stitch. Now at this point, you might want to put a stitch marker there. It might help you to do that, okay? But I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to do 3 sets of a double crochet, okay? So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm going to put 2 double crochets in each of the next 3 stitches. So I'm going to go right into this next stitch, and I'm going to put 2 double crochets. So that's 1 set. Then I'm going to go into the next and put 2 double crochets. That's 2 sets. And then I'm going to go into the next and put 2 double crochets. And that's 3, okay? So 3 sets of double crochet, 2 double crochets. And then we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 5 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And now we're over here at our heel part. And so now what we're going to do is 6 sets of 2 double crochets, okay? So technically you need 12, doing 2 in each of the next 6 stitches. So I'm going to put 2 double crochet here, 2 double crochet here, 2 double crochet here, 2 double crochet here, and so on until I get 6 sets of those. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 12 because that's going to help me stay on track. So I'm going to go right into my next stitch and I'm going to put 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Then I'm going to go into my next and put 2 double crochets, 3 and 4. And go into my next, 2 double crochets, 5 and 6. And again, 7 and 8. 9 and 10. And 11 and 12. Okay, so we did our 6 sets of 2 double crochets in each stitch. Now we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so we did our 5 double crochets. Now we're going to do 2 double crochets in the last 3 stitches that we have. So you should have 3 stitches left here, and in each one of those we're going to put 2 double crochets. So into the next 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, into the next 1 and 2, and into the next 1 and 2. Okay, and now you're going to slip stitch our first double crochet here that we did. So right here you're going to put a slip stitch. Okay, and then for row 3 you're going to chain 1 again. And in this row and in this row only, you're going to be working half double crochets into the back loop, okay? And this is just going to create this sole look around, it separates the shoe from the sole, okay? You see that right there is what we're creating. We're creating that little ridge. So we're just going to go around in every stitch and do half double crochets into the back loop only. And you should have a stitch count of 34. Okay, so we're right here on our last half double crochet working in the back loop only. And right there you can see where I did my chain 1, and so I want to go into this double crochet here and do a slip stitch. Okay, or half double crochet. So now we're going to work 9 half double crochets, and now we're just going through both loops as usual. So we've chained our 1 and we're going to go through and do 9 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we did 9 half double crochets. And now we're going to do 8 sets of 2 double crochets together. So we're going to be decreasing now. We're going to be bringing in this toe because right now this looks really big for a 0 to 3 month old baby, but you're going to see it's going to actually be really small once we start putting these decreases together. Okay, so now I want you to just go into your next stitch, and I'm going to show you how to do a double crochet 2 together. And that's when you're looking at your pattern and you see the DCTOG. That's double crochet together. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into our next stitch. We're going to pull up a loop just like we're doing a double crochet, but we're only going to go through 2 of those. Then you're going to yarn over and go into your next stitch, pull up your yarn, and then go through only 2 of those. Then you have 3 loops on your hook and you go through all 3. So that's how you do a double crochet 2 together. Okay, so we did 1 and now we need 7 more. Okay, so there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, and then on our last one, 8. Okay, so this is where I really want you to try to crochet as tightly as you can. When you do these 2 togethers, and if you've crocheted for a while, you understand what I'm saying, they tend to get a little gappy because you're essentially pulling the yarn in. So try to keep it as tight as you can. Okay, so we did our 8 sets of 2 double crochets together, and now we're going to do 9 half double crochets. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're going to slip stitch into this stitch right here. So don't go into your chain 1, remember that, okay? And look at how nicely that's pulling in. Okay, so now we need to do another round here. And now we're going to be, now you should have a stitch count of 26. And now we're moving on to round 5. So in round 5, you would chain 1. And you would do 9 half double crochet, 9 half double crochets again. Okay, so go right into your next stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay, and then you're going to do 4 sets of 2 double crochets together. So just like I taught you before, but now you need 4. Okay, and sometimes it might help to just turn this over just a little bit so you can see the side of the stitches. So I'm going to go in, do 2 together, so that's 1. That's 2. That's 3. And when you do this, I just want to tell you this real quick before we do our fourth two together. Sometimes it's hard to tell where to go in because you're doing the two together and this still looks like a stitch because this is being pulled over to the side of the stitch, but it's not. So make sure you're going into the correct stitches here, because a lot of times you would just be going along and you would think, okay, that's a stitch right there. I have so much room, but it's not. You can tell right there that that's coming out of there. So just make sure that you pay attention to that. Okay. So again, into our, do our 2 double crochets together. This is our last one of our 4 sets. Okay. And then on the other side over here, to complete this round 5, you're going to do 9 half double crochets. There's 1. And did I just do that? That I told you not to do? Yes, I did. Look at that. I love it when I do that, because that's when I'm teaching y'all. I'm teaching you stuff that I have actually done. So I just did that. I just tried to go in there and do a half double crochet because it looks like an open stitch. And so that'll make your whole count go off and make everything look funny. So I'm glad I did that, because y'all see it's not just you, it's me too. But I can tell that there's one coming out of there. So I don't want to work into that stitch. So again, our 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then single crochet into this stitch right here, not the chain 1. And try to make sure that you don't go into this hole here, that you're actually going into the stitch, which can be hard to do. Okay. All right. So we just finished round 6. Okay. And now we are on, I'm sorry, we just finished round 5. So now we're on round 6. And now what we're going to do is chain 1, and then we're going to do 9 half double crochets across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And then you're going to do 2 sets of double crochets together. Okay. So there's 1, and there's 2. And then you're going to work 9 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. And now we want to turn this inside out, because that's actually the way it needs to be. The right side out. Okay. And there you've got your little booty. And now you will want to work in all your little pieces here. Don't leave anything on the inside, especially this is for your little baby. You don't want anything getting caught. Okay, look at that. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now basically you're done with the booty. You could leave it just like this if you wanted to, but I'm going to show you how to do that little strap. And I'm going to show you how, now if you wanted to keep the same color, the next round we're going to do is just a slip stitch all around to pull that in and tighten it up so it won't be so big on the baby. Okay, but I'm going to bring in another color, but if you wanted to, you could use this color and just go around for a row slip stitch. But I did want to show you, I'm going to bring in this thinner green yarn right here. Sorry for hitting the camera. Okay, and so when I go into slip stitch into this, I'm going to bring in my green yarn. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and bring in this green yarn. Just like this. And then I will tie that together here in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and cut off my brown yarn, leaving enough to remember to tie off and then sew in. Okay. So, and actually I might just go ahead and do that now so it doesn't come undone. This is a little bit fiddly when you're working with something so small. Okay, so I'm going to pull this in and I'm going to do just a little knot right here. And then I'm actually also going to sew it in. So I'm not just going to leave it as a knot and cut it off. If I did that, it would come undone. Okay, but for now, I'm just going to place that inside the booty. Just all my scraggly pieces I'm going to place in there, and then I'll sew those in later, and you sew those in later. Okay, and now all I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the top here doing a slip stitch. So this is where I brought in my color, and it's going in right here, but I want to go right back in there and do a slip stitch so that we don't miss any. Okay, and then I'm just going to do a slip stitch all along, and I want to do it kind of tight. So this pattern, while we're doing our slip stitches, like I said, this pattern is good. I'm going to show you the different sizes below for preemie up to, I think, 6 months. And the only difference is the hook size for that, okay? So that'll be the only difference that you'll see. And this is just going around, just kind of, you don't want to do it too tight because you don't want it to be so tight on your baby's foot or leg or whatever. But you do want it tight enough to really give it some closure up here on the top. Okay. So now we did our slip stitches and we're back here, and all I want you to do is just go into this first, right into kind of the middle of it, and do a slip stitch to pull it together. Okay. So it doesn't look like we've missed any stitches whatsoever. All right. And now we've done our little color add-on there, and we've, as you can see, made the top quite a bit smaller, so it'll stay on the foot there. So just tie off, and then you'll sew that in later, okay? And now I'm going to show you how to do the little piece that goes right across here that really makes it come together and look like a little loafer, okay? And you can use your fingers to shape them. Obviously, when they go into, your baby puts them on, it'll shape it out nicely. And then when you put the strap across, it will also make it look, make it pull it together just a little bit more, okay? So to do the strap, all you're going to do is you're going to chain 11. One, two, and 11, okay? And then you're just going to do half double crochets all the way back down into the second chain right here. So you're not going to go into this one, and you're not going to work anything in your loop. So you're going to go right into here and do a half double crochet. And you're just going to do that all the way down, which will leave 10. 3, 4, and 10. Then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and do 10 more down again. 1, and then don't forget this last one, 10. Okay, so that's how you work the little piece there. And then what I did was, and I don't need to show you how to do this on camera because I know you know how to do it because I just showed you how to do a slip stitch. But all I did was I brought in my green yarn and I just did a slip stitch all the way down this side, and then I did a slip stitch all the way down that side. Okay, so that's all I did. If you want to put the accents on, you don't have to. Okay, and then this is sewed right across here just like that. Okay, just like that. It kind of sits a little bit over, just like around there. and I think it looks best there, okay? But now if you wanted to, you could do it and go like this, or you could, I mean, you could do anything you wanted to. You could do 2 of these and make an X going that way. So this is just a basic booty pattern, and I just wanted to show you how to do it. But yeah, so I put the slip stitches of green down, so you can do that. And then I also got 2 little buttons, and I used that same accent green, and I used my darning needle to sew those on. So I made sure that these buttons were big enough to hold my small darning needle, because I have a couple different sizes. So just make sure it'll go through there. Or if you don't have the right size darning needle for the buttons you can always use a needle and thread if you have that, okay? Or you could hot glue these, but I wouldn't do that, or use fabric glue, because it is for a baby and you don't want them to ever come out or undone. So I think it's best to sew them, but you can do whatever you want, just take precautions, okay? So yeah, just sew these on right here on each side, and you can put your little buttons on, and then you've got the cutest ever little booty. So I hope this was helpful to you. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy my channel. Please share my videos if you're in any crochet groups, or you've got any friends who love to crochet. That's the only way that we can really get any kind of views for these videos, is if someone shares them, because a lot of times they go undetected, unless obviously you have thousands and thousands of subscribers, then it's a little bit different. But with us crocheters, it can get kind of hard to get those views. So please share. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone's staying safe and quarantining themselves and not feeling anxiety ridden like me. I've had to stop watching the news basically, or looking at my phone so much, because it can become overwhelming. So God bless you, and I hope that you can find some peace right now, and that you're healthy. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next video. Happy crocheting, guys. Bye bye.